We are making it happen. So once again, FB, it's me, and I am back. And we are here with the Courageous Faith Show from 5 to 7. We are so appreciative of you joining us today. That was just a little bit of Mary Mary, and that was I Want to Go. But you know what? Let's tell you the real name of the song. Heaven. It was Heaven. We're going to play it again. I just wanted to make sure that my mic was on because the other mic, I wasn't really being effective. But let's get down to it. Now, last week we were talking about having courageous faith and dealing with our toxic relationships and making sure that we get to the next phase of our lifestyles and making sure that we put God in the forefront of everything. And we talked about the characteristics of being forgiving, and we also talked about that Jesus invites forgiveness. So now what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about God's gifts to all and the only way. Now, what I want to tell you guys about my journey on this week. My journey on this week was very different because, like I told you guys, every time I'm dealing with something, God definitely deals with me first. So it's never going to be a time that I come to you guys as if I am, the creator of all things and that my life is totally perfect. What you're actually going to get is you're going to get a raw, unedited version of what he wants me to teach, what he wants me to bring to you as people, and then how I really want the direction of the show to go, because I really want everybody to most definitely live their best life. And when you're living your best life, you have to definitely get to the point where you're no longer feeling those toxic relationships and that they're binding you and that they're holding you back from the next phase in your life. And you can't always feel like, even the person who feels like, I wasn't the one that was toxic, the other person was, but now they've gotten themselves together and they want to leave and they don't want to come back. And I don't understand why they're not giving us a try. And we want to talk about the characteristic of, God, where he is, he gives a gift to all, and he is definitely the only way. And Christ's attitude toward forgiveness, we'll definitely find out is something that is very wonderful. I've talked about this on the morning show of God's Morning at 7:30 a.m. that I do live on Facebook for 30 minutes. But here we get into the information even in depth. We get to get into an in-depth conversation. So if you want to conversate with me today, the number is 267-273-0393, and you can call in to the station and you can most definitely ask your questions. And you can definitely also know that I'm always live on Facebook, and then even on my laptop I normally have my messenger open so that if someone has a question I can definitely deal with it. But today I had a question within my inbox, and I'm looking at the computer, guys, so forgive me. The young lady, it seems like women are the ones that really want to ask the questions. They really want to know how to get to the next phase, because one thing I found out about women, we are very forgiving. When things happen to us in our relationships, we're very forgiving. We're willing to stay in the relationship. We're willing to coexist together with the other individuals so that we can make it a cohesive unit. But I realize that sometimes, that's not the best thing that we need to do. It's been amazing to me how God has been allowing me to meet several individuals who may have been in a toxic relationship or who have dealt with something and they have to really deal with it. But right now I want to deal with something in regards to family. I want people to understand that when you have family, you have to get to a place where you love them beyond all doubt, unconditional. Like, it can never ever seem as though you don't love them. Even if you can't deal with them in a certain way, you have to love them. The Bible says that we must love, because we always know that we've always used 1 Corinthians 13:4-8, and we've talked about love being patient, love being kind, love not boasting, love not being envious, love not keeping any records of wrongs. But I read a post this week of a friend of mine, and my heart went out because, people were saying, you only get one mother, you only get one father, and that you have to definitely be in the vein of, being forgiving and loving and, understanding who they are. But when the Bible tells us not to, to honor our father and our mother so that our days might be long, it says to honor them, but it does not say to be abused or to be battered or beaten or being made to be so broken that you can't come back again. That's definitely not what it's saying. So when I say that to you on today, we're going to talk about the family dynamic just a little bit more, because I realized in my inbox that people are really definitely dealing with family situations that seem to be, they can't get over it. They can't move on, and they can't get past it. and they're living in this situation where they feel like, if I can't get past this, my life is never going to change. I'm going to be living in this same stage of my life forever. And what do I do next? What do I do now? So when you come to a place and you feel like you are living in a box where you have family members who you can't stand, and family members where you have to definitely constantly be saying, well, I can't do this one or that one. That's not what God has intended us to do. And I know that I've gone over it over and over again in my morning show when we deal with toxic relationships. I've definitely always said to you guys that we have to definitely use the model of 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. And I definitely read it in the NIV version. So for my listening audience here on Sador Radio, I want to talk to you about this again. And the NIV version says, love is patient and love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always preserves. Now, when that is said, and you're dealing with your family members, and you're dealing in a situation where you feel like you just can't do it anymore. You know, your cousin comes over. As soon as your cousin comes over, you leave. You know, you're the one that has to leave the family situation because everybody has moved on and everybody feels like the dynamic is okay, but yet you are still in that same place. You're still in that same location that you found in when the hurt happened. You know, at the moment that the hurt happened, every time you see that individual, it doesn't go away. So what I want to suggest to you is that you find us. We are definitely an app. You can go to the App Store, which is the Google Play Store or the iTunes Store, and you download the Live and Direct Marketplace and what is going on here at the station. So be with us.